Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting race between two juggernauts of the Final Fantasy VI Worlds Collide community. We have Javinat0r versus GoldenShocker doing a Doom's Rage seed for you all as part of our Warring Triads event here. My name is Gar. I am joined in the commentary booth by Possum Orpheus. Possum, how are you doing today?
I am doing quite well. Happy to be here and be able to do comms for what is a wonderful race with a wonderful crew for a wonderful community. So definitely looking forward to some high power between some high-powered runners.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been looking forward to this match all week, if I am honest. So on the left, we have Javinat0r representing Team Phoenix. On the right, GoldenShocker representing Team Bahamut. Both of those teams are underneath the Legend group. Team Phoenix has a 1-2 record, Bahamut 2-1. So this is an opportunity for Team Bahamut to either pull ahead or for Team Phoenix to tie it all up for second place. So Possum, you're on Team Bahamut. I imagine that you've got some bias going into this. I won't hold you to that too much.
I mean, you can have biases and all that, but at the end of the day, we all play for fun. So, as much as you want a teammate to win, realistically, I want to see a good, clean race between both runners, both of them to do very well. And if so happens that Phoenix rises from the ashes on Javinat0r's back, so be it. I'm just looking forward to a real good one here between these two. So that's the be-all, end-all for me is some good, clean racing.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with you there. So, as I said before, Possum, you won your race for Team Bahamut. Numbers won his race for Team Phoenix earlier. So both teams 1-1 for this week. So this is for most of the marbles.
Yeah, some pressure on these runners for sure. The legend side of things gets real interesting if this goes to Javinat0r, because then it ties up Team Phoenix and Team Bahamut. If GoldenShocker were to win, it puts not an insurmountable gap between the top two and the bottom two, but it makes it almost all but a sure thing because of both the individual wins and the margin of victory that are currently established for the top two teams at the moment, which is Team Bahamut and Team Raiden in Legend Group.
Yeah, Team Raiden would have to start messing things up week 5 and week 6. So I don't think that'll happen, but hey, it's a randomizer. Anything goes. So tonight, or at least for this match, we're doing Doom's Rage. So I think that's probably the most popular of the flag sets for the Warring Triads. I know certainly that it's a favorite of mine just because all the dead checks give you nice high-tier weaponry, and I like to go unga bunga with big stick.
Yeah, me hit thing hard. It makes for very easy gameplay. Everyone gets 20 extra vigor, minus 10 magic. You lose out on, X magic, magitech, I think. You lose out on a lot of the magical things that you'd normally want, but that's fine. Me go hit thing, me go fast, me hit hard. That's kind of the Doom's Rage thing. It's honestly the easiest once you get going. And speaking of getting going, here go our runners. Definitely going to be interesting to see who we start with because it is only 2 characters. One of which, though, is a Setzer and the other is a Cyan, a natural magic throwing Cyan. So as much as Cyan gets the bad end of the stick on a lot of things, I don't think he's ever leaving this party.
No, throw is quite possibly the best ability in Worlds Collide. It is extraordinarily powerful, and it can carry you through the entire game, whether you're throwing skeins at the start and then switching over to shurikens or something else at the end. So a lot of money, elixir, and cathood there in the treasure house. So I don't think either of our runners are going to want for any cash.
No, that cat hood is extremely spicy. I love an early cat hood. It just makes it so that you never have to worry about money after the first couple encounters. Just a delicious piece of gear from a long-term prospect point of view. And we also see sleeping bags, remedies, Phoenix Downs potions, just a real high quality shop there as well for our early consumables. And on top of that, it also looked like we had a pretty good look into, was that Revivifies as well? I think that was even more good stuff in there than I originally thought.
I didn't see the revivs, but I am not exactly paying attention. So Taxstar's there. So I mean, like I would not have purchased all of those Taxstars if I were Jav. I would sit on that a little bit, but well, it's 140 battle power throwable. Hard to hate.
Yeah, it's certainly going to make early clearing a little better. I believe that was a go-go, or was that a zonk in Kolingen? I think it might have been a go-go. It was very tough to tell. GoldenShocker went through very fast. It is a go-go, which
is a go-go
character. It has throw. So, Throgo is online. I know you hate it, but it's a character and it has extra vigor and it can toss some things around.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna hate too much here. That go-go. You also find the warp stone, so if GoldenShocker desires, he can just go ahead and take care of that. Finds ninja stars, which are a much more cost-effective way to get your physical throwable in your hand. Tax stars, as much as I love them, they're a little bit too pricey. So Jav probably going to see this too. I imagine that he's going to go and take care of Cole right after this, but is not going to have the funds really to buy too much of anything.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. I wasn't sure if GoldenShocker had anything left to sell, for example, like an elixir sitting around or something like that, where he could buy maybe 15 more ninja stars, for example. I know typically I like to buy about 30 shurikens because they're just super cheap. But if you can afford to do it with ninja stars, I mean, they're such a better option and still relatively inexpensive compared to those tax stars. So curious to see, as he did pick up about 20 of them, but haven't seen any edges for anyone anywhere. No water edges, bolt edges, or fire skeins. So maybe we'll see those as well, and maybe that's where our runners are saving a little bit of their money for, is some of those skeins and edges.
Well, it looks like the returners camp has water edges for sale there, so that's something. It's not exactly my favorite edge. The animation is a little slow, especially compared to your fire skeins and bolt edges, but I mean, it's an edge. It's you've got a cyan. Unfortunately, the cyan has 11 magic power, so
yeah.
But it's fine. We're not going to be throwing the edges for too long, and even at 11 magic power, it's still probably worth it rather than throwing a tack star or a shuriken. An atmo weapon in a pot there. So I think that, especially because the equip pool is expanded from 33% to 50% in Doom Seeds, that we are going to attempt to find an offering.
Yeah, I definitely think Monster in a Boxes take a little bit of priority in this flag set compared to normal. Just because if you can find an offering, you're almost certainly guaranteed something by way of checks, whether it be, dragons or zonk checks that, are just nothings from your other checks that don't pay out with Magicite or characters. You're almost certainly going to end up with an Atmo weapon, a VK, etc. We already have that Atmo weapon. Now, it's not real good right now. We need about 25, 30 more levels. But it'll be awful good, in time. We do see Minerva's available as well for sale. Yep. Really good defensive gear, and that can be hard to come by on this flag set, even though it gives you all of the weaponry in the world.
Yeah, Minerva, once again, with that 50% equip, normally only Terra and Celeste in the base game can equip it, but here, I imagine that both of our runners are going to try and scrounge together some cash at some point, which will be made a lot easier with the addition of that cat hood. So if you find the Katana Soul later on in the seed, for example, he'll cough up about $130,000. So that's about 2.5 Minervas right there, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, there's only 2 monsters in a box that they can check right now.
Yeah, and I don't think floating continent is happening immediately. That is a very spooky consideration this early in a seed, at least for me. Uh, but oh no, that would be Shadow, not Setzer. What am I even saying?
Yeah.
Wrong
Uh,
character. That'd be super cool if someone could get the floating continent right now. But we'll say Daryl's Tomb was what I was going to go with, of course.
I would have questions if somebody went to FC right now. Okay, so finds Vectigoils. Hello. I believe that these are some in-game enemies. You find them in what do you call it? Kefka's Tower.
Yeah, it should be some real good XP here. This ice is a little scary though, but Cyan does walk it off. And I think that a tack star, yep, will take it out here. So those early tack stars do some work. 1500 XP, not too bad at all. Gets him to level 8, and that is going to be quite an increase in power on the throwables there in particular.
Yeah, so good on Jav for finding that encounter there. I know normally I don't like to do the basement grind here when I have a Cyan. Normally what I'll do is I'll take a look at the soldiers and hope that they have some really EXP dense encounters.
I agree
Yeah,
with the
give me a bunch of
soldiers.
Gigantos.
Oh yeah. Gigantos would be huge here. A $61,000 not Esper. We'll probably not worry about it for right now.
Oh,
I would be curious to
did you
see
see
if they
that?
do it. I did not.
It's the item you can never find in this flag set. They're Atlas armlets. Gotta
Oh
love
my
it.
gosh.
And also
I'll take-
Hyper-Wrist, they're available in the same shop. By the way, Drinks Glue says that GoldenShocker is the most under... What is it? I had it though. Hold on.
Hang on.
GoldenShocker is the most disrespected player in the community. Tonight everybody's gonna learn who he is.
I hard disagree. I know exactly how good GoldenShocker is.
See, it's interesting. I've known GoldenShocker for, 3 or 4 years now, going back to the Free Enterprise days, and he was quite a good runner, back in those days at that, and he is even better at Worlds Collide than he was at Free Enterprise, and he was no slouch over there. So I definitely know of GoldenShocker myself, and yeah, for anyone to underrate him, they're just not paying attention, and that happens.
Question also from chat, by the way, for Gar. Can you compare the runners to cheeseburgers and the most resembles their unique traits?
Well, I did this yesterday, so I think I'm gonna have to try and find a new burger. GoldenShocker. GoldenShocker is like we have this restaurant back home. It's called Green Truck, and Green Truck has this burger where like it's egg and bacon on the top, and it's super delicious. And so I think that GoldenShocker is that burger, and I think Jav. So Jav plays on a Super Nintendo, which is nice classic. I'm gonna say that Jav is a nice Big Mac with oodles of Big Mac sauce. And I think Drinks Glue agrees, yeah.
Apparently, Falcon Hit, who's our resident top player, I guess, in our community, says Javinat0r is going to go for the Coliseum play, which is why he hasn't done the free check yet.
Yeah, that could make a lot of sense. The Coliseum could definitely give you some big swingies. We have an ammo weapon, but that's not really going to do much for us early on. So a chance to get something done in the Coliseum wouldn't be the worst. But we do see Javinat0r is heading on up, maybe looking to get an early dragon and the Tritox spot rather than going through and going after the Coliseum. This is spicy, but he's got tack stars, so it should work out.
I do like this play as long as the dragon isn't something rude like Bluey, because of the dead checks
or dirty.
Like the possibility of spiking a Ragnarok or an Illumina here is just way too alluring. Now at level 8, unscaled, You're probably fine.
Yeah.
Well, dragons are 6, so...
Oh, this is not one you want to see.
Okay, well, doesn't die, so...
Yeah, not dying is the first step.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Just 500 damage there. So cracking this ice shield just to get it down.
Yep. So dragging down trades an ice shield for a dragon. That's honestly perfectly fine as a play. I'm a fan of cracking early shields because especially on this flag set, your magic is so low that like the Ice 2, for example, isn't going to do hardly anything. There's another Atmo weapon that's really not what Javinat0r was looking for, I have to imagine. So he loses the defensive capabilities of the Ice Shield, but does pick up some real good late game stuff, but probably not what he was looking for.
Yeah, worth noting too that dragon unscaled only gave him about 3 levels, which, it's not nothing, but I think Jav was hoping for a little bit more there. Didn't really want the Atma weapon. Probably, like I said, would have preferred, like even fixed dice for that Setzer, I think would have been preferable. Question from the chat: what is the difference between a Shuriken and a Tack Star? Shurikens have, I want to say it's like 80 battle power. Ninja Stars, I think, have 120. Tack Stars have 140.
They're a runner. They're a Tech Star.
It's not nothing. And this Guardian is going to be excessively rude, I think.
Yeah, because we have bolt edges on Javinat0r's side. I know we have them on GoldenShocker's side, but a bolt edge would be big here. But looks like we just have those Tack Stars. So yeah, this is going to take a hot second. This Guardian is going to have a pretty solid amount of HP, but it doesn't seem to be particularly harmful at this stage. Just going to require a lot of darts.
So getting corrections in the chat, Shurikens have 86 battle power. Ninja Stars have 132, and Tack Stars have 190. Jav stealing that force armor there. That is Guardian's, I believe, only steal. I believe that he does not have a rare steal. So down he goes. We actually didn't have as much HP as I thought. Those Tack Stars putting in work.
Yeah, I mean, if you're used to Shurikens, the Tack Stars looks like mathematically are about 2.25 times as good as a Shuriken. So quite a lot of value obtained early in the way of XP. A check out of the way, can warp out now with a warp stone, has a dragon under his belt. That dragon also, I believe, on this flag set gives auto reflect, right? For just doing one dragon?
That's correct.
So that could be big as well.
That Esper had strength +2 on it. That is going to ride on Cyan the entire time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, strength +2 throwing is just going to do a whole lot of work. Speaking of throwing, GoldenShocker throwing Ninja Stars and having Gogo mimic them. Gogo, not the best thrower, but when you give him 20 extra vigor, he's a whole lot better than normal Gogo.
Yeah. Jeff, okay, is he going back out to save and then go back in? Okay. I was going to say, like, maybe he's having second thoughts about this dragon, but nope. It looks like this is his strat, just to rush to some number of dragons. I think 3 is a good number here. I imagine that he will go and climb Mount Zozo after this.
I was going to say, is this double dragon now? I mean, what the heck?
The third dragon also gets you, I want to say it's auto haste on this flag set too. So he can prioritize all these dragons early on, get reflect, get haste. You get, I think, auto image at 5 as well. So that's probably not happening, but you never know. The other thing that these dragons can give is potential things like Illuminas, Ragnarok, Valiant Knives, all of those real nice creature comforts to actually do legitimate damage other than just throwing things at dragons. Cyan does survive the blaze with 10 HP. That may be all he needs to get through this, and it is. So sure 9 more than he needed.
There you go. GoldenShocker. Search and Disguise finds Ultros. I can't immediately tell what this one is. It is either 2 or 3.
It's not the one with Chupon.
Yeah, it's not 1. The sprite is different. It's not 4 because there is no Chupon.
All right, and so we do see Search the Skies completed. We had the second dragon completed. This is a Zonk check on GoldenShocker's side, but it gives him an Atma weapon, so everybody
Wow.
getting all the Atma weapons they could ever want, which will be helpful in roughly 20 minutes, I would say.
Oh, I wouldn't even go that far. Javinat0r is already level 17, so once
Yeah, maybe about 10 minutes.
yeah, like once you hit like your mid-20s, you can start using the Atma weapon. It's pretty good. Possibly even earlier if you have a boss that has a ton of physical defense. Atma weapon's pretty good at cutting through that, but also so are tax stars. So
And Javinat0r coming now to Kolingen, going to find those ninja stars as well. I would expect him to re-up his darts here, or oh, maybe it wasn't here. Maybe it was Zen where they were. May have lost track of that. But
it was World of Balance, Cole.
World of Balance, Cole, got it. Okay. So yeah, Javinat0r missing out on that a little bit. So he does still need some more darts. We'll see where he goes to shop after this, and looks like he is headed back to Kolingen for the World of Balance. So doesn't look like he's going to miss out on this. May just be trying to cover the tracks that GoldenShocker has already done to make sure he doesn't miss anything. While GoldenShocker finds Dataluma, captures a sneak ring. I don't think that's really going to benefit him anyway, but still just darting ninja stars and mimicking them.
Yeah, I feel like that's just going to be the play for the rest of the seed. And yep, Jav buys 20 ninja stars. That with the remaining tax stars in his inventory might be enough to get through the rest of the seed. It's also possible that he'll come back later once he's got a little bit more money in his wallet and restock before he hits up Kefka's tower.
Yeah, and a speed Esper on GoldenShocker's side for doing Doma Dream 1. We will see what we get from Doma Dream 2 and 3, but looks like Javinat0r headed to World of Ruin Zozo. This is going to give him the ability to get a third dragon under his belt, and also get the check for Cyan out of the way here. So kind of double dipping. Also going to get him that auto haste for getting his third dragon out of the way. So honestly, that auto haste this early on, what's going to be sub 25 minutes for sure. That's a big deal. You can make up a lot of time with auto haste.
Oh yeah, especially with slower characters like Cyan, where you want them to act very, very quickly. So GoldenShocker having that speed Esper may well opt to give him some speed over the strength. But Jav, I don't know. Jav is in a much more interesting position here because like it's going to be ultimately more damage if he just lets that strength ride. But speed, like once you start capping out the damage with your ninja stars, tax stars, whatever it is you wind up throwing, you're gonna want some other kind of stat. And I think speed is gonna be it. So hopefully Jav finds that Esper sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and for Javinat0r on his side, getting that strength Esper early. Realistically with ninja stars, what do you need? Probably 90 vigor or so before you're capped out. I know with shurikens it's like 115 or 120, but with tax stars and ninja stars, I know it's considerably less, and that gives you a lot more wiggle room to move that strength Esper elsewhere and then get the speed Esper on or some other Esper. So it's one of those things where that can give Javinat0r a lot of flexibility, much more so than GoldenShocker has, by having access to that Strength 2 Esper so early.
Yeah, 100%. Plus, he's got access to that Hyper Wrist as well, so that's going to double his vigor. Or, well, not double. It'll increase it by 1.5 times. So the thing to keep in mind for Jav is that any vigor over 128 is effectively wasted.
Mm-hmm.
Making quick work of the Gold Dragon, too. That's another one of those ones that can potentially be very rude. However, you do get a little bit of a breather. Ooh.
Speaking of rude, GoldenShocker getting bodied. Tunnel Armor needs to chill out a little bit. Popping off against GoldenShocker here. Probably not going to let Go get levels here. Just needs to get out of this fight. Probably Setzer's dying here. I think we're just going to throw and clean this out. And yeah, Cyan just needs to kill. Cyan does not kill. So this is a potential problem for GoldenShocker here. Well, we have Realm hanging out on Mount Zozo. GoldenShocker does get a block from Cyan and gets another Bolt Edge
Down
out,
he
takes out
goes.
Tunnel Armor. But that was a bit spooky on GoldenShocker's side.
Yeah, I did not expect Tunnel Armor to come out swinging like that. No one ever does.
No, it's like, randomly you find a Tunnel Armor, when you've done 23 checks and it's your check for the skip and it pops off with like, Goner or, some other ridiculous ability. And you're like, wait, why do you even have that? But we do have a Realm showing up here for Javinat0r, and that's a pretty good Realm too.
Yeah, Blitz Realm, 36 magic power, so that's 46 base before the -10 penalty. That's still very respectable magic power. So like if you're looking for somebody to be a caster, Realm can put in some work. So.
Well, and also, 22 levels from now, that Realm will have the ability to get Bum Rush. I think it's level 42, correct?
42, that's right.
Yeah, and so that'll put the ability, that can basically have Realm just solo a lane. You can have Cyan with Go-Go solo a lane, and then you just got to figure out your last lane there. And you don't even have to worry about going through and, overloading a lane or something like that in Kefka's tower. You can really just be super aggressive with it, having those types of abilities. So big advantage for Javinat0r there on early party composition. GoldenShocker has a lead on Esper, is currently 4-1. So he has picked up a number of Espers with decent stuff, but nothing, really incredible. I think the Strength 2 Esper that Javinat0r has is honestly the best thing that our runners have found Esper-wise. So his one Esper, definitely real strong right now.
Yeah, 100%. That being said, GoldenShocker does have the Esper advantage here. He is up 3 whole Espers. So I believe that that Doma Dream was triple Esper, so it's not bad. And presumably Javinat0r will go there at some point, but for now he seems to content to do Alzur's Mansion. Jesus, it has taken me so long to get these words out. Finds more tax stars.
And more Atlas armlets and Genji
more
gloves.
Atlas armlets. So as soon as an offering comes along, we are going to be very much in business.
We will be cooking, as the kids say. The kids say that, right? That's the thing the kids say.
The kids do be cooking.
Okay.
I think they say that as a kid, as a person who has not been a kid in several years. I don't know anymore. I'm an old man.
I'm not even going to touch this. I'm not.
Oh, I love this. Ragnarok sleeps
Which
here. One?
We'll figure it out here in a little bit.
As someone who was recently trolled by this at Mobliz of all places, where it said, Ragnarok, are you going to take Ragnarok? And it's like, I don't know. I need an Esper. Yes, and it wasn't an Esper. Pretty trolly. But we see Funbaba here. This is actually not Fun at all. This is pretty scary.
Yeah, Funbaba just has a ton of HP. I'm not 100% sure that that GoldenShocker can get through this effectively. Like the Ninja Stars are putting in work, but he's only got 10 of them left.
He's going to have about 2 of them left by the end of this. Probably more than that, but it's going to take a number of Ninja Stars to get through this, and it's just very dangerous. You want to see Solarplex typically, but that Solarplex just removes Setzer from the face of this earth, and now it's Cyan
safe.
from Baba. Yeah. So a big moment here for GoldenShocker. He's already had Tunnel Armor go a little sideways. Boy, these Solarplexes are not messing around. This Funbaba probably needs to die in this hit. Or else this could be trouble, and that's a Bolt 2. That's going to drop Cyan. So GoldenShocker
that's a
going to
reset
have
for
to
Golden.
take the reset here.
A little unfortunate, and Jav, meanwhile, just clearing through Alzur's Mansion. Not a care in the world.
Yeah, and GoldenShocker looking to take the reset all the way back to pre-Daryl's tomb. So loses the walk and the looting, and probably is going to make that a last location, which either Ragnarok, honestly, leaving that behind is a problem. Because the Ragnarok weapon is phenomenal, and the Ragnarok Esper, well, you need Espers to complete the seed. So it's going to be a while before GoldenShocker goes back, and is a bit of a feels bad for him.
Yeah, 100%. Jav, meanwhile, I think is a much more equipped to take care of that Funbaba. So we'll see what he does. And yeah, like you said, that Ragnarok it's going to be looming large in GoldenShocker's head.
Yeah, again, whichever Ragnarok it is, there's no bad outcome there. So definitely will be sitting in the back of his mind. But we do get a non-character here at Alzur's Mansion. That was just the Welk there, and Welk ate a couple of tack stars and was promptly sent on its way. Tritalk, a little bit of a boomerang, was defeated earlier in the seed, and it comes back as an Esper. Is that another Strength 2 on there?
That's what it looked like. Looks like it also has Cure 3 on it. So Realm is going to actually have like real things to do. There are glowing stones available in the auction house. So Jav may come back and buy one towards the end of the seed.
Yeah, the only issue with the Cure 3 is it's only really going to be effective out of battle because we have that auto reflect up on Jav's side. But GoldenShocker goes and picks up his realm here. Looks like he skipped the dragon, so GoldenShocker may be going dragonless here. May want to not have the reflect up as he goes throughout a seed, which there are definitely advantages to it. There's also some disadvantages. It would have helped for sure with that Funbaba, and I believe that was Edgar on this side for Javinat0r going up. What is this, Esper Mountain?
Esper Mountain. Hail to the king. So that's a wonderful character to see. Jav already prepping Setzer to just say bye-bye, and I hard to blame him. Edgar can naturally equip those Atma weapons. So, the king is going to get the swinging.
And it makes sense as well to keep Gogo here because you have Gogo who can mimic two different things that are incredibly powerful, both Blitz and Throw. So keeping Gogo here actually makes a lot of sense over the Setzer who is kind of just there.
Did you just say Edgar's the Swing King?
I mean, maybe. he is objectively the Swing King, right? Tell me I'm wrong.
Boy.
Would
He's
King of Swing be better?
The Sultan of Swing. And he's even got Morph. With 57 vigor. So, yeah. Edgar, it's time to pump.
So for the uneducated, which would be myself, what does Morph do other than increase magic? Does it help with any other stats? Does it help with, attacking physically?
I believe it does. Falcon is saying that it doesn't work with Atma, and that does make sense. Atma has a unique damage. Typically, weapons with unique damage formulas don't play well with things that like do any kind of damage multipliers. So, Morph, I believe, doubles your output and halves your damage input. So, very nice to have. Will not work with the Atma, but you get to turn into an Esper. Isn't that cool?
Definitely pretty cool. What's not cool for GoldenShocker, he has to take another reset here off the random encounter. It was, I think, like the 3 ghosts and the naughty here in Alzur's Mansion. So definitely getting the short end of things a little bit here. Seems like his scaling might be a little bit out of whack. He is buying, looks like some fire skein, some bolt edges, and picking up some tack stars as well. So both runners have sold an Atma weapon at this point. They're both still holding on to 2, but have both sold 1. Looks like GoldenShocker just being behind on that scaling compared to Javinat0r is starting to cause some issues. Where Javinat0r now, we already see 1700 coming out of Atma weapon. It's not quite tack star damage, as he rips through the Stataluma, but it's still appreciable.
Yeah, GoldenShocker, they're buying those skeins, unfortunately, because Cyan has so little magic power. Like, at this point, you're already doing way more damage with your physical throwables than you are with your skeins. And that, I should point out that is very different than how it normally is, where you can use skeins up until about the 30s before your physical throwables take over. But these, if he opts to use like a fire scheme here, it's just not going to work. But throwing the Ninja0r is definitely the play.
Yeah, Ninja0r is tossing out an Aura Bolt with Realm. I'm going to pop for about 1200 damage there, even with the reduced magic on the flag set. So is going to get through it this time, but unfortunately for him, just not having the same kill speed as Javinat0r does at this point, who has just been tearing through stuff with very little resistance. The early dragons were a little spooky, but did ultimately cooperate for him. So he was able to get through everything, where GoldenShocker is just, continuing to have people get one shot by random abilities from enemies, 500 damage bolt 2s and fire 2s and things like that. Just really causing him concern at the moment.
Yeah, I would love to see GoldenShocker here take a peek underneath one of these chests in this next room to see what kind of encounters they're there, because it could be like something crazy like Allosaurus Parasite, where it's a very easy encounter to kill and it gives you just a ton of experience. So we'll see if he does that. I'm thinking, though, that he is not going to. I know that he feels that he is behind, and so in that position, I reckon that he is just going to press on ahead, try and get through checks as quickly as possible.
And yeah, I mean, that can definitely work to just try to push on ahead. However, that can also be doubling down on what would be an inferior strategy. If you're just behind on levels and you need to catch up on them, you're going to push to the point where it can be very hard to overcome. Now, throw is a great compensator. It's maybe not on the same level as like an Illumina if you can get it to proc, but man, does throw let you get away with murder as far as going into things under-leveled. That being said, the more levels you have, the faster you get through stuff. And so for GoldenShocker, as you said, kind of getting some levels would be a real boon for him. We have Tackstar come out after one hit from Edgar. Tunnel Armor goes down.
Much nicer tunnel armor there.
Yeah.
So then GoldenShocker, meanwhile, finds the Whelk. Isn't going to have too much of an issue with this Whelk, too. This does make me nervous, though, because neither of our runners have found any particularly scary bosses. The worst one was that Funbaba that GoldenShocker ran into, and I like even that's not terrible, especially for Javinat0r. Javinat0r could probably roll over it no problem.
I think GoldenShocker begs to differ with the tunnel armor, the hardest boss, but yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't have to reset out of the tunnel armor.
I think the Guardian is also pretty spooky, but Javinat0r caught it very early and it cooperated. I think if GoldenShocker were to run into Guardian right now, it's going to have so much health compared to his damage. That could be a problem.
Yeah, I do not feel good about GoldenShocker going up there right now, which there isn't really an impetus for him to go up there. So, he can let that sit for a while, and I think that would be fine for him. Jav, meanwhile, gonna go into South Figaro here, or excuse me, Figaro Castle basement, presumably going to do Ancient Castle as well. Still on the lookout for those offerings.
Well, not only that, this also gets him a 4th dragon, to go ahead and get him real close to 5. If you've done 4 by this point, and there's a character, there's Mog, so that's the 6th and last required character that Javinat0r needs to get his final Kefka unlocked. But if he gets Dragon number 4 here, he's then only 1 away from getting auto image. And honestly, that's, at that point, just do a Dragon in the middle of the right tower, Kefka's tower, and you're golden at that point. Speaking of golden, though, GoldenShocker did sell another Atma weapon for more tax stars. So while Javinat0r is pushing through things and not really meeting much resistance, GoldenShocker is having to sell a lot of the farm, or his potential future for the present. He is down about 7 levels at the moment and an Atma weapon long term. So Javinat0r is set up better right now and for the future. So GoldenShocker has a lot of work to do to catch up here.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not 100. I'm not 100% sure what GoldenShocker's levels are, but Jav is just like he is way ahead right now. That 3, soon to be 4 dragons up. How about a pair of fixed dice? I mean,
yeah. Javinat0r is at level 28. GoldenShocker was at level 21 before that fight, level 23 now. So he's 5 levels behind him. 5 levels is a big deal.
Especially when your entire offense is entirely based around doing physical damage.
Yeah.
So number 128 is going to die very, very quickly to Taxstar and then a Mimic Taxstar, and that should do it.
Yeah, attack, Taxstar. That's kind of going to be the battle plan for most bosses right now on Javinat0r's side. Again, kill speed is very fast on his side. We'll see if GoldenShocker is able to keep pace, as he is also here in Ancient Castle. Both runners getting their Mog, and both runners also going to be getting through the Tentacle and the Engine fight. For GoldenShocker, it's going to be interesting to see, does he go after the dragon at all, or does he stay on the 0 dragon plan?
It'll be a really interesting decision for him because he knows that Cure 3 is waiting in the wings. For Jav, like you said, it's already too late. However, Jav is also, he's 3 dragons in, soon to be a 4th. It makes a lot of sense for him at some point to grab a 5th. And that 5th is probably going to be in KT proper. So going to Chuck the Throne, I imagine that he might duck into the shops here. I think he would like more sleeping bags. And just finds a Mega, which isn't the worst thing to find. You do want some way to heal your party, and that Mega is going to go a long way to doing that.
The first Mega Elixir is great. Every subsequent one doesn't matter. That's my hard opinion on Mega Elixirs. And it looks like Javinat0r did the throne check, but is leaving. So he is not doing the dragon, not doing the ancient castle proper. That's interesting.
I want to like that. I really do, but I just can't.
You might get both dragons in KT instead.
I honestly don't know.
He also leaves behind a monster in a box. He leaves behind a dragon.
2 of them.
2 of them, yeah. Like, that's 2 shots at an offering. Leaves behind a 4th dragon. Leaves behind a check. It's just leaving so much stuff behind that, like, you could turbocharge what you're doing if there's an offering down there. If you get an offering from the dragon down there, I don't know if offerings are in the pool on this one. I think that might be Poltergeist Fury, but there's so much potential. I know he's got a lot going on for him right now, but it feels like not committing to a play. And as someone who, races multiple randomizers, I love committing to my plays. Like, come heck or high water, I want to follow through something that I start. So definitely want to ask Javinat0r about that post-seed in the interview if he does give us one. Why not completing the ancient castle? Because I think that's a very curious decision point, at least in my eyes.
And I'm assuming that GoldenShocker is going to do it, and so we'll see what the delta winds up being there. Because if there's something juicy down here, if he does find that Katana Soul and there's no offerings elsewhere in the seed, that potentially puts GoldenShocker actually ahead, despite him being down in Esper at the moment.
Yeah, GoldenShocker.
Yeah, he would go from being down right now, but his clear speed later would increase dramatically. Atma offering just add levels, go do the thing. that just allows you to get through a statue. It lets you get through tiers just so much faster. Now, double throw is not bad, but that also requires you keeping Go-Go around. If
Well,
you have Atma offering, you can be more flexible and not have to keep that Go-Go around.
well, GoldenShocker actually sold those Atma weapons. He actually put the fixed dice on Setzer, so that offering would probably go on the Setzer then.
Oh, I thought he kept one of the Atmas. I didn't realize he sold all of them.
Well, he did equip the fixed dice on Setzer at least, though.
Okay.
My girl.
Find Celeste there, and that's probably the best character that you could find at this spot. And with the way that the Espers work now, it's likely that a 7th character is going to be required here. And GoldenShocker finds a Shadow, the Raging Shadow at that. So, and yet GoldenShocker looks like he is just going to skip the dragons.
Yeah, so the Dragonless plan versus the at least 3 dragons for auto haste plan. GoldenShocker also looks like he is not interested in the monster in a box. Just kidding. He says, no, I actually am. I'm going to make a fool out of you on commentary. And he finds a Gigantos, which honestly might be better than Katana Soul for him right now.
It's a good encounter. It would have been even better for Javinat0r.
True.
I also would have liked to see Javinat0r take a peek at some of those bears. Again, if you have like a very EXP dense encounter, there's nothing wrong with just sitting there and farming it until Kingdom Come.
It looks like we're trying to land quarter on Gigantos, which if it hits will take out 3/4 of the HP. Ninja Star should finish it off. Unless the throat jabs come out, which looks like they did not chain together enough, that Ninja Star does take out Gigantos. Some number of XP was gained, which is good in GoldenShocker shoes. Number 124 goes down for Javinat0r, and he is going to get that Celis. We'll see where he opts to go. I doubt anything but the actual cell is going to be taking place for her, but tough to say.
I think Jav made a mistake there. Didn't put a full party in there, so not a huge deal. Now, I am curious to see what Jav does in this spot, because, like, in theory, you have enough checks right now, unless something horrible happens to where you just you can get all your Espers.
All I know is if I were a Taxstar investor, boy, am I am thrilled with the stocks of Taxstars this seed. Man, have they risen.
For, like, Taxstars are just extremely good. Like, they cost a bunch of money, but if you're not spending your money on anything else, you might as well just take 50, take 100, as many as you can carry. So,
but yeah, looks like Javinat0r is going to do probably Lone Wolf and Kefka and Narsh here.
Yeah, so even with the 2-character party, it doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is keeping on a Moogle Charm, and he did, so.
Question for chat from actually Falcon Hit. Is this going to be one of those mythical solo go-go lanes when you get to KT?
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
I mean, if we relatively max out the strength on Cyan, you could move the strength Esper over to go-go and maybe have it be a thing. But unless he can put on like a Minerva or something, he's going to explode.
So...
Oh, you can't put Espers on go-go, right? Yeah.
Lone Wolf was a Ragnarok. And there's the Esper Ragnarok too. So we now know that what is in Daryl's tomb is in fact the Ragnarok sword. That being said, I would have really liked to see Javinat0r get the Ragnarok here, and then just go back into the world of Ruin and snag the Esper down there. But yeah, he may, in fact, go down later and pick up the Rag. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, Ragnarok, just a really nice weapon to have. something that can complement the Atma weapon. So yeah, definitely would like to see that get picked up as well. But may also just be thinking, and both runners may be thinking this, that both are so good that you got to cut corners somewhere, and maybe this is where that calculus is coming in, that I got to do XYZ because my opponent has already done ABC, and I got to do it in different order and do it faster. So could also be part of what's in play here, is trying to min-max everything on the fly, which would also involve not getting into this random encounter here for Javinat0r, so he's not going to be thrilled about that.
No, not at all. It looks like he bonked the wall a little bit, and that kind of messed up his timing. So we'll have to get through this encounter, but that's fine. These are very soft enemies.
And did get a third Strength 2 Esper, I believe, by the way, which is ridiculous for this flag set in particular.
Everybody's got to work out. Chad here is extraordinarily rude. We want to see him use Bolt 3 and not like Bolt Edges or Gigavolts or anything like that. Something that will reflect off of those reflects.
Charm is worse. Charm on Cyan is, just don't throw things at the party, Cyan.
Fortunately, it's just for one attack.
Now that is a scimitar on him, though, isn't it? So that could have one-shot.
That could have cleaved Realm, yeah.
Which would have been funny, but for all the wrong reasons.
I would have felt bad for Jav, but I also would have laughed. So this is a Gigavolt. Doing nearly a health bar.
Yeah, appreciable damage, one might say.
So I don't think that Jav is going to have too much trouble getting through this, but it is a lot of HP, and he can be very dangerous.
Charm comes out, this time on Edgar. Edgar's got an Atma weapon, so Gogo probably lives because of his HP, but anyone else here that gets bopped, I think, probably goes down because of how Atma ignores or we're going to morph. Okay.
There's a Water Edge. This is also like what... it's the opposite of what you want to see here. The Bolt 3 is nice. You want to see just tons and tons of Bolt 3.
Yeah, the reflect actually from the dragons makes so many fights just a lot smoother. So that's actually going to be a benefit for Javinat0r here versus GoldenShocker. Not only is he up a couple levels here, but he has that reflect, which just saved one of his characters' bacon there. GoldenShocker does not have reflect, which means even those single target things are going to be a problem.
Yeah. So Jav is scaled up a little bit more than GoldenShocker here, but Jav is also able to survive basically anything that that Chad can do here, and GoldenShocker is just going to have a little bit harder of a time.
I'm going to throw down an Aura Bolt here, though. It's going to do very nice damage, 4,500 there. So Aura Bolt, correct me if I'm wrong, uses the magic stat. So Realm having high magic actually is very nice for that Aura Bolt.
100%. So Jav here has a few options. We did see that Auction House is live. You can go and take a look at Figaro Basement. You can go Magitech 1 into Magitech 2 if MTech 1 isn't the play.
Zen Thief, he may not have checked. We know that it was a $61,000 item. It was not a glowing stone, if I remember correctly.
That sounds right. So...
yeah. 61K not. He says, I'm out. Which is interesting, because I don't think either runner checked out in World of Ruin. What if that's like a 5,000, Illumina or Ragnarok? That would kind of feel real bad, but we'll never know, because I don't think either runner is going to bother with it.
Well, let's be real. It's going to be like a $50,000 like soft or something. It is never anything good.
That's fair. We are getting it pointed out in chat that also a character is a skip here on Javinat0r side, or on GoldenShocker side, either one. 8 characters does represent the skip. I want to say it was a very high amount of checks. It was like 24, I want to say, 25.
Eight
but
8 characters, 12 espers, and 25 checks.
Yeah, so 8 characters very much in play, 12 espers, 25 checks not in play. So hunting an extra character, not the worst idea, especially if Jav is not planning on doing any dragons. That was one of the big impetuses that I was thinking of was, hey, go into the tower, maybe try to get the skip, do whatever you're going to do, get some dragons, get auto image. But I think that plan went out the window for him, that he's just going to ride the auto haste off the 3 and not worry about the 5. Where GoldenShocker, it looks like he's just going to ride 0 dragons and play it straight up. He's going to keep his scaling down, but is a little bit behind the 8 ball still, and has not found the offense to really catch him up either. Javinat0r just still in a much better position and could be closing in on his 9th Esper right now.
And that's the hope for Jav. And I'm not 100% sure if he's going to go and check South Figaro basement for what could potentially be his 8th character. But he already gave up a shadow, unknowingly perhaps, but...
And there's Merton. Thankfully, it doesn't do too much damage. We see GoldenShocker has some dice on, throwing some Ninja Stars still, of course, with Cyan. Looks like the Mimic fired a little early on Go-Go, so decided to attack instead of mimicking a Ninja Star. Doesn't look like anyone has gotten confused, and that's a big die roll there, and then down goes number 24. And down goes the red guy of the Three Stooges as well. Can never remember his name, but that's the scary one and the one you always want to take out first.
It's Curly.
Curly, there you go.
And then Larry is soon to follow. We do see Mantra there out of Realm. Mantra, it's actually a real healing spell, which is phenomenal. You love to see it.
And worth noting, GoldenShocker does have his skip. He got his 8th character. So GoldenShocker is, oddly enough, on a little bit of a clock here, because he needs to find 2 espers in the time that Jav needs to find 1. But if Jav is not going for the skip, this could actually be incredibly close when they get to Kefka's tower. Big difference is GoldenShocker is going to be down about a half dozen, upwards of maybe even 8 or 9 levels. So this is going to be incredibly interesting, and just an Ice Shield, that is not what Javinat0r was looking for.
No, 100% no. That being said, it's good to find and get the Stooges out of the way. They are a very rough encounter, and honestly, I think this just makes things worse for GoldenShocker, because he still again is on the hunt for two espers. Does find the one there in the basement, so it is not a character. So maybe I have to revise my opinion here a little bit.
Well, and does he have Shadow's free check as well that he can do?
I'm not 100% sure if he did that or not. I didn't see him do it.
Because if he has that still, and that also gives an Esper.
Shadow's free check was the first thing he did. That was Go-Go, I believe. No, that was Caligan. But he's done the free check already.
He's done the free check. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, he's got to figure out where he wants to go for his 9th Esper. Javinat0r are going to let us know just about right now, as Ultros, one of the Ultroses, has been dispatched, what this check is going to give. And that is a Magicite. So that is KT unlocked for Javinat0r, but no skip. While that, 2 fights from now, that will be the skip and KT unlocked for GoldenShocker. So this is actually quite interesting. GoldenShocker is going to be down power and down levels, but if he can finagle his way through the statues and the tiers, if Jav doesn't get the skip, GoldenShocker could actually be at the statues and at the final Kefka fight first. And this Celeste check we know is only going to give an Esper, so not a character.
Yeah. And the other thing too is because Javinat0r is scaled up so high, or rather because GoldenShocker isn't scaled up as high, his bosses are going to be just a little bit easier than they would be for Jav. And like you said, Jav is going to have to climb up the entirety of Kefka's tower, GoldenShocker has the option to just go and jam the skip if he so desires.
Jav is also kind of in a real weird spot here because I want to say his realm is like level 40. Yeah, level 40. She needs 2 levels for Bum Rush. So, like, I assume you have to get that. You know, it's such a powerful ability. So Jav... Oh,
or not.
Okay, so he's not going for the skip, and he's not going to get Bum Rush. Looks like he's just going to send it here and go up without the skip.
And I mean, I think he set up his party appropriately. Like, if nothing else, Realm can cast Mantra, right? Pummel actually deals real damage, I think, with the plus 20 vigor. But you know, even worst case scenario, she just sits there and mantras or chucks items. So it's not horrible, but it is a little bit unlucky, and that's why I like to do some of those fixed encounters, because if she did have Bum Rush, then she could have been a really valuable damaging teammate.
Yeah, so just real interesting developments towards the end of this. It has looked for, well, basically ever. The Javinat0r has had a pretty decided advantage here. And I do think that his clear speed, his damage output for final Kefka is going to be much stronger than GoldenShocker's. But to your point, GoldenShocker's statues may be easier because of the lack of scaling. Being 2 levels off of Bum Rush, that realm is cool, but she's not going to be doing everything that you'd want her to do, really leveraging that potential advantage. I think Javinat0r does have more tack stars, and as he has more strength, because he got those strength espers earlier, will be doing more damage with them. But again, that scaling is going to come into play here with the 3 dragons, versus the no dragons. Additionally, though, that auto haste is a benefit for Jav, and the auto reflect is also a benefit, especially in tier 2. Have we seen Siren or Mute?
I don't believe we've seen Siren. I'm not sure about Mute. So could potentially be very interesting for both of our runners, because they've both taken basically the same path. It's just the difference is that GoldenShocker, like you said, he's going to get the skip here momentarily once he deals with this Ultros. And Jav having to hoof it up and do his best to get through the statues. Now, with auto reflect, it does make Poltergeist potentially a lot easier, because if he decides to cast stop, then you get a more or less a free fight.
Well, also with the whole mute thing, Javinat0r has reflect, so magic's not really going to be doing much anyways.
Yeah, certainly true. Reflect nullifies a lot of what tier 2 wants to do. Being the ultimate in, well, being a jerk. But speaking of things that are not jerks, Pero Kinneries, thank you so much for the raid. Welcoming in raiders to a quite close race, actually, between GoldenShocker and Javinat0r. GoldenShocker has just unlocked his KT skip. Javinat0r is on his way up through the tower now. So, slight advantage at the moment, time-wise, for GoldenShocker if he goes and utilizes the statues immediately. I do wonder if there's also a play on GoldenShocker's side where he does an overload and maybe takes out the right side plus the statue, or if he's just going to go and split lanes on everything. Looks like choosing the statue straight up, he's going for it.
Okay, so that is going to put GoldenShocker a couple of minutes ahead here. We'll see what happens with his statues. And I didn't quite see how he formed his party, so it looks like throw, whatever Shadow does, and then more throw.
Well, Shadow is in the middle by himself. So I wonder if maybe he's going to clear the 2 outside lanes and then run up the right and take out the middle 2 fights with his whole party. I'm not really sure, because Shadow doesn't exactly seem like the character he's going to use to solo anything here.
I am confusion.
Yeah, same. So yeah, I think it has to be a sides play and then run up the middle with everybody.
And that would be my guess. In which case, I think Jav is actually positioned a little bit better here. So kills the white dragon. I think this is the party 2 dragon, if I'm not mistaken. So might actually be getting that auto image.
Which makes, to me, the decision to not go for the ancient castle then even more curious. But I am not at the level that y'all are in this particular game. So again, definitely curious about that. If a 5th dragon is part of the plan,
it is kind of a strange play, and I like surely Jav had some kind of plan. We'll have to ask him about it once he gets in here.
And GoldenShocker gets bodied there by Goddess, not able to get through. So we'll see, because he did save outside of KT.
Is Jav confused? Okay. I think that Jav was trying to figure out why he couldn't go through with Party 1 there, and was trying to do that with Party 2, and that wasn't going to work.
Yeah, and so here is the 5th dragon. So he is going to get his auto image.
And that's a fantastic pickup, but yeah, just a little confused. Should get through the red dragon just fine. Now, the thing with red dragon is that it can cast Merton. It can also it can cast some things like Goner.
Yep.
Which is, always pleasant.
In gigantic air quotes.
Landslide. Good that it hit Gogo. I think he survives this.
It's because this Gogo is a rock star.
Away. With enough vigor, anybody can do anything. And I think Gogo's vigor is actually very respectable, like even at a base level. 7,500 damage with the tax stars. You love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, legitimately, Gogo is a solid 4th party member because throw is so good. Hey, Illumina. That's pretty nice.
Realm also learned Stomp, so if this party happens to be the one that fights Poltergeist, then they are extremely well set up.
Can anyone use this Ultima is the question. Neither Gogo nor Realm. We know Edgar can.
It is definitely a better weapon for than so if you're going to single swing a weapon, you want to make it the Illumina.
Unless it's against Poltergeist, then the Atma's probably better, but that would be the exception. Sure. I guess even against Goddess, the procs are worrisome, but it is what it is. Meanwhile, Goddess still being rude to GoldenShocker, and that's attempt
reset there. Yeah.
So that perceived potential advantage for having to skip for GoldenShocker is all but gone now. Javinat0r is basically at the statues. He has auto image, he has auto haste, he has more levels. So this is kind of where the rubber meets the road, and Javinat0r is, he was temporarily behind. He is no longer behind.
Yeah. Javinat0r is moving and shaking, and GoldenShocker, he is not out. No. Again, these statue bosses can be exceptionally rude, but Javinat0r has the levels. He's got image and haste, and even reflect can put in some work. That clock is ticking for GoldenShocker.
So GoldenShocker is opting for the statues with all 4 in the middle. So he is going to clear out this middle section now, it looks like, and then probably come back and walk up and do the sides, is my guess. So this is going to give even more time back to Javinat0r, because GoldenShocker unfortunately just bouncing off of the statues. Inferno here is a bit scary as well if it decides to really act up, but our runners should be fine with tax stars and other things to get through this.
Yeah, running into Inferno late is always a little bit of a spooky experience, just because it's 3 parts and all 3 of them can do just really nasty things. I think this Taxstar is going to put him away for Jav, so very good. But my goodness, that's got to be terrifying.
And yeah, it looks like Gogo went down, but is back up now on GoldenShocker's side. Inferno also down. So we are going to get a peek. We know Goddess's left statue. So it's just where are Poltergeist and where's Doomgaze? Doom. We don't know where Doomgaze is, and that's
So
probably good for our runners.
So that means that Poltergeist is on the right side, and I think that Javinator's Edgar is on the right side.
With the Atmo weapon, that's fine.
Wait, who had throw? It was Cyan.
Cyan, yeah.
So yeah, with the ammo weapon should be okay.
So yeah, I guess Edgar is going to run into that fight yelling for King and Poultry, country.
Nashville hot.
Finger licking good. Oh darn! Look at the time. I've been canceled. Anyway, back to the Doom fight. So dueling Doom fights. We have Realm and Gogo on Jav's side, and we have Realm, Gogo, Cyan, and Setzer on GoldenShocker's side. Again, the big difference though is Javinat0r. He is likely not going to have to run out and come back in. So for GoldenShocker and fans of GoldenShocker and fans of Team Bahamut, you need some stumbling from Javinat0r on Poltergeist. For fans of Javinat0r, you need no stumbling. You want that to go through cleanly, and you want Team Phoenix to rise from the ashes there. So still anyone's race, but if I were a gambling man, I'd be pretty sold on Javinat0r having a distinct advantage at this point.
We'll see what Spicy Chicken does. And oh no, I was mistaken. It is actually Edgar on the Goddess side. So potentially troublesome. I don't think that anybody found an offering. So as soon as Love Token comes out, that's kind of the end of the attempt.
And we are morphing with Edgar here. No immediate Love Token. No Love Token ×2. Clean sweep, not great, but Edgar should walk it off, and Celeste does have an Illumina on. No Love Token number 3. That's 18,000. Need about, 3 more of those, probably?
Goddess doesn't have that much HP. There's the Love Token.
So we got about 24,000 damage in. So what else do we have here? Magicite? That's worrisome. Here we go.
All right, roll the dice. That is going to heal her.
Yeah, that's not it. That's also going to heal her from the Reflected Bolt 3.
Single casting Ice 1 is this is honestly, it's just a reset, right?
Yeah, it's a problem for Javinat0r. This is really rough because, outside of killing off Edgar and reviving him, what else do you really do here?
Yeah.
Meteo's going to kill off Celeste here unless she dodges.
You really wanted that Meteo to hit Edgar.
Yeah.
Okay. So it looks like he figured it out. So now, but this is spooky though, because Goddess can do like a Water Edge. Bolt 3 won't do it.
Yeah.
So if Celeste uses like an elixir here, or an X potion,
and then Edgar needs to not end up getting Love Tokened again.
I'm thinking it's like 1 or 2 more fight commands, and that ought to take care of it. So there's the one.
Yeah, this will be about 30,000 in damage from this swing. There she goes.
Okay.
Good adaptation there by Javinat0r to get through that by knocking off Edgar, who got love tokened and bringing him back. Very well played.
Yeah. Very lucky though, because again, like water edge, clean sweep, anything like that, that's a wipe. So GoldenShocker, meanwhile, reforming his party again. Looks like 3 members in the wings and then 1 person on the right side. Did take care of. Hang on.
He
Did
took care of the
middle?
right side boss, and he cleared the middle. He cleared the Doom earlier. So
okay, that's right.
He just has to go after the sides here.
So still, a good 4 to 5 minutes of walking here. And then still has to get through these bosses where, Jav just has this Poltergeist remaining and is going to chew through Poltergeist pretty effectively here.
Has just an arsenal of stuff here. I think he might be waiting for it to stop. Nope, he resets. So he's planning on doing something there. Or maybe didn't have the right defensive gear on. But something was awry in that attempt.
It looks like just an equipment shuffle. Taking off the ice hood there, or the ice shield.
And the snow muffler.
Yeah,
just going to overload this Edgar.
Okay.
Or Cyan, excuse me.
Makes sense to me. That Genji shield will do basically nothing. The ammo weapon there, I mean, honestly, any weapon that's going to increase your vigor is what you want to equip. I think the Excalibur is the better choice there.
Yeah, more stats are just better here. My big concern is on Javinat0r's side, because of all the checks he's done, is Poltergeist is going to be basically maxed on all the abilities and all the HP and all of this. So, 2,500 HP is probably fine, with air quotes around that, because some of those abilities that can come out from Poltergeist, if it decides to show up with Wombat or Fallen One or any of those sorts of things, would be just real bad. But we've got 20,000 damage in already. These tack stars are doing quad 9s, so 5 of these will get it done. So yep. I think Javinat0r is just going to push the button 5 times, hope that Poltergeist doesn't do anything really rude, non-elemental, cooperating quite nicely with Fire 3s and Flare Stars and Mertens, all things that the Ice Shield basically eats. And so Javinat0r just needs one more tack star, and he's out of this fight.
Yeah. So basically, at this point, you're looking to dodge the Wombat or the Goner, I guess. Poltergeist can cast Goner, but generally cooperated. So Poltergeist down. Javinat0r through the statues, and ought to have a very pleasant set of tiers up ahead.
Yeah, has a better party for Final Kefka. The statues was the big question because of the scaling. Would he get through them first, or would GoldenShocker? Javinat0r getting through them means that what might be a 4 to 5 minute advantage now is likely going to balloon, maybe even double that by the end of the seed, just because of how quick his clear speed is going to be through this Final Kefka.
So get your guesses into chat. How long is Jav going to take? He is not on the switches yet. I will let you know the time when he does. Yeah, just one final look at his party. I really don't know why he is putting that Atma weapon on there. The Illumina is almost certainly better than anything else that he could equip, but
maybe saving it for a rainy day or the next seed. You never know.
The next seed, yeah, if only. I mean, if you can carry Illuminas forward, oh, goodness.
You mean that doesn't work like that? You can't just save your goods and resources for the next seed? Man,
Unfortunately not. Good night, Edgar. Poltergeist just loves to be a bully, but here GoldenShocker has stopped, so ought to be a relatively free fight for him.
Now, also, would it have been, or is it possible that Shrapnel is of a lower tier for abilities, where Javinat0r would not have seen Shrapnel, even though it would have been potentially more dangerous?
Nah, because Shrapnel, like all of the testing that I've done, he can still cast Shrapnel. Basically, okay. the way that the tiering works is a little goofy because it's not like there's chances for him to cast things that are above and below his tier.
Fair enough. Well, we see tier 1 is currently melting on Javinat0r's side, not able to land the instant death, but is just removing bits and pieces of tier 1 here. Chewing through. What was the actual time for the switches, Gar? Just so we make sure chat knows.
I said I was going to pay attention to that and then didn't. So.
All right, we're gonna say it was like a minute and a half ago. So yeah, we'll go with like 1:15:30. It's fine.
Yeah, it's closer to 1:16.
All right, well, it is what it is. But we do have another match after this as well. We are going to have Honeydew and Ensign Wesley, who are going to be running as well. That's going to be starting at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. So stick around as well. Even if you don't stick around immediately after this, at least come back for that, because it's going to be another heck of a race. So definitely 10 out of 10 matchups today. As we do see Javinat0r moving on to Tier 2, while GoldenShocker is still doing battle with this Poltergeist. He is throwing dice, he is aura bolting, trying his best to get through.
He should be done with this. Yeah, the Honey versus Ensign Wesley race, their whole team, so that's Team Doomgaze for Honey and Team Inferno for Ensign Wesley. They are in much the same position that Team Phoenix and Team Bahamut are in, where both teams are 1-1 for the week. So this will basically determine who gets promoted. You are not going to want to miss it.
Yeah, lots of drama in week 4 right now.
This Poltergeist just does not want to quit.
Got to be getting close, though.
Almost certainly.
Of course, I can't tell you how many times I've said "got to be getting close," and then Poltergeist just continues to not be dead. So
it always has more HP than you think.
And it looks like we got the quarter, the dispels. I think that is magic down for Javinat0r. Still has, I believe, tools and hit left.
Maybe not quite. So it looks like mute, in fact, was not on the table. So
okay. Just interesting to see the quarter dispel come out. Just used to seeing that at the end of the life cycle for magic.
Yeah, and there it goes. He should be dead now. So that's a lot of pressure off of Javinat0r there. Good job getting it down.
A lot of time save too.
Yeah, unfortunately, these Dooms just do not want to hit. So Tool's kind of running amok with the grav bombs there.
Yeah, it would have been faster at this point, honestly, to just keep throwing stuff at stuff. Whatever it hits, it doesn't matter. It just would have been more damage at this point. But you expect, just based off how mathematics work, just go ahead and cast Doom. It's going to hit eventually, and you'll be fine. Or it won't.
Eventually it'll hit, or eventually it'll die.
GoldenShocker moving on to Goddess. So did get through that Poltergeist, and has a very strong team here for Goddess. Has some throwables and whatnot. And looks like Doom finally did land. And we are going to get a Phantom cast as well. This is going to make 10 hits a lot quicker, because they're all just going to miss. No animations that way. Or very few, anyway.
I am a little nervous though. It does mean that any like whirlwind or something like that is just going to hit. It's going to automatically hit. And
Well,
I don't believe we. We have auto image, so it should be fine for calmness protection. I guess that's fine. What am I talking about?
Yeah, I was going to say calmness, probably not an issue with the auto image, but that is GoldenShocker taking out Goddess. So Javinat0r is up 2 tiers, likely by the time GoldenShocker gets into the fight and does his final menu, rearranging whatever he needs to do, going to be closer to 3 tiers down here. So Javinat0r is going to need to incur some incredibly unfortunate series of events to not have this one in his hands. There's the W wind you were talking about. It does hit everyone but Cyan, but that should be fine. Opting not to use the Mega Elixir here, it looks like, or using it with someone else.
Yeah, using it with
to still
Realm
push
there.
damage. Yeah. And Lady is down, courtesy of 1 swing from an Atma weapon and one hit from a Ninja Star. And then now we count.
Honestly, at this point, it's almost not worth counting because you know what's going to happen. Train coming out is unfortunate. It's probably going to be Train into Medio, so gonna need to. I drop both Cyan and Edgar, and that's one of the things. Like one of the reasons why I like the Illumina so much.
Now, Mantra, correct me if I'm wrong. That removes statuses, though, right?
It sure does. He can Mantra, and it looks like he's doing exactly that.
I don't know how to use Blitz properly, but I know what they do.
Look, you and I are in the same boat, so there's the calmness. Auto image is still up, so we are good to go.
Yep, and 3 tiers down for Javinat0r, just 1 to go. And honestly, might be able to skip Fallen One here with the damage he can push. Throwing with Gogo and Cyan. I think Realm has the Illumina. It might be Edgar, I'm not sure which. But just he can push a ton of damage here. Might be able to clear the Fallen One threshold. While GoldenShocker is into tier 1, dealing with what is mainly a physical stage of this fight. But does not have that auto image, nor the auto haste, nor the auto reflect that Javinat0r has.
Skipping the Fallen One here would be huge too, just because you have, I think it is both Cyan and Edgar wearing Atma weapons. Tackstar and Mimic Tackstar seems good to me. Realm cracking the shield. That's definitely going to do the skip there.
Yep. Love that. Just makes it a lot easier, and now we can just push the rest of the damage. And Jav's got this in the bag. This is a done deal here. Very quick tier 1 from GoldenShocker. So not to be trifled with. Incredible runner, but the statues got a little bit of the best of him, and the scaling early on got a bit of him as well. A miss there from Edgar is spooky. And Gogo's got something queued, right?
He does not, no.
He does not, okay.
Okay, so Jav gonna, play it safe here. Or not. Honestly, I would love to see him throw the Illumina. Yes, let's go!
With Gogo, and that should do it, right? Yeah, yep, there it is.
Pow, 124.
Gogo Illumina.
42.
GG's to Javinat0r. Very well run on this one. Really leveraging the power of Tackstars. That was just huge.
Yeah, so very nicely done there by Jav. The swag Illumina kill, you love to see it. Let's see if we can get him in here for an interview.
And love to see both runners using Gogo in their final parties because Throw is that good.
Throw, I cannot say enough good things about Throw, especially when you start out with an extra 20 vigor. It makes even Go-Go something of a monster.
But that will officially bring Team Phoenix up to 2-2, basically tying them with Team Bahamut. And we should be having Javinat0r join us in a moment. And there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. GG's to you, Javinat0r.
Yeah, thanks very much. Appreciate it. That was a fun seed. I feel like I haven't had throw in forever.
Well, you had it twice in this one.
Absolutely.
So tell me a little bit about your strategy for this one. We saw you rush dragons very, very early on. Is that something that you like to do for Doom Seeds?
Yeah, I put a lot of value in the auto haste, and so there's two things. One, with these seeds, scaling goes up with checks, but your XP GP goes up with characters, aspers, and dragons. So if you get dead checks, that's bad because you don't gain more XP or GP, but your scaling goes up. So dragons are always guaranteed to give you a good item, and the items list in this one is good. And if you kill 3 dragons, you get auto haste, which I wanted as soon as possible. So it was kind of really nice. The starting characters I got really let me do that.
So a little bit of a follow-up to that, just a curiosity on my end. You had access to Ancient Castle, and we noticed that you ultimately ended up doing 5 dragons for auto image. Was there ever a thought to do the rest of the castle check and get that dragon as well to give you a 4th dragon? And to complete that check and maybe look for a monster in a box for a katana soul? Like, was any of that floating around in the back of your mind, or was there a different plan that we may not have seen clearly from the booth?
It was definitely there as a backup. I don't really like that check. It's quite long. If it ended up being dead, that's a huge time waste for a dead check, and that would only still be for a 4th dragon. I still would have had to get a 5th in the tower. So I wasn't really planning on getting 5 dragons in the first place. It just sort of happened because I saw that I had an Esper with stop, and as kind of a Hail Mary, I wanted Realm to learn stop. So I knew I was going to fight a dragon there, and then I was like, well, if I'm going to fight 4, I might as well fight 5. So that was like a really last-second decision.
Okay, gotcha. And that does make sense. That is a very, very long check. The animation of that castle rising from the desert, it takes about 40 years to complete, so I really don't blame you.
So if I had my head screwed on straight, I meant to go get a Genji glove that I found from the relic shop in Javinat0r, but I was too excited and I just hopped in the tower. And then my plan was to have Edgar dual-wielding Atma weapons. Defensively, that was kind of iffy, but then that also sort of had the 5 dragon auto image in my head, so that was kind of something I was thinking about doing too. I just sort of forgot.
I personally was a little bit curious about your weapon choice. Like, it's really not a big deal, but is there any reason why you picked the Atma weapon over the Illumina, like for Edgar, for example?
I just had a lot of levels, and I knew he'd be swinging to the fences with it, and I knew no matter what I was going to fight, because it ignores defense, and I didn't want any pearl procs because his magic was like 10, so I figured I'd just stick with the Atma weapon on him. And then the plan, like in air quotes, was that if I fought something where I needed the defense or the evasion or something, I could pop it on him and back row him if necessary.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Once you get past level 32, the Atma weapon gets really, really good really, really quickly. So, yeah. I honestly forgot.
Yeah, I honestly forgot to put the second one on Cyan, and then I don't know if you noticed me do that late because I was like, I'm kind of running low attack stars. Then I popped the Atma weapon on him, so he's swinging for 9,000. I was like, yeah, I probably should have done that a while ago.
Yeah, it's all good though. Like, anytime you can throw attack stars the entire seed, you're normally gonna have a good time. So
pretty much, yep. Yeah, not too much depth on this seed, honestly. Had tax stars, threw tax stars. Proceeded to complete checks. I was peeking for the 8th character. I don't know if you noticed, I went and checked Celis's in the basement there, just because I was peeking for it, just in case I could quickly snap an 8th character and get skipped really easily. So I was thinking about that, but it wasn't worth any more than the basement check to do it, I don't think.
So next week you have a Poltergeist Fury matchup against Magre. How do you like what is your strategy when you try to do Poltergeist seeds? Do you like them more or less than Doom seeds?
I don't know if it's a more or less thing. Strategy, I sort of come up with those right beforehand. So I would say in general, I like I like using Y remove. I'm a big fan of killing dragons just anyway, and so Y remove gives you access to some dragons. Oh no. Sorry, I'm just watching the stream there.
Yeah, this is a heck of a
oh,
fight.
no.
That is not the
No.
ultimate counter we wanted to see
I
for
think that's gonna
GoldenShocker.
put him away.
Yeah, single target.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, so it's so tempting to use the Y remove too much, so just trying to balance the Y remove checks with the scaling is something I try to do, but still keep in my head and stay apprised of. And even with the increased battles, I really think the Economizer Ultima play is really strong, even with 11 to 20 battles or whatever. It's definitely something I consider doing every seed when I do a Poltergeist seed right now, because it's just so strong.
What's your number for Curse Shield? Where beyond that number, you're like, it's not really worth it.
I mean, it really depends. So I would say something like 11. Probably realistically something like 12 or 13. I'm probably going to go do that before I do literally anything else. So all my grind fights have a potential to use the shield. Now that could bite me if I die a bunch early, but it's a thought. But yeah, realistically, probably 11 to 13. It'll really depend on what my abilities and characters are and what I find, to be honest. If I get a curse shield early and I have a fellow character and they have the ability to just take on everything themselves, and I can basically have a free character sitting there. Maybe I slap a snow muffler and a ribbon on them and I can keep them alive in spite of their curse shield, then I'll just slap that on them right away. If I'm relying on both characters to just sneak by fights and get through the early part of the seed, I might, even with 11, I might not uncurse it. So it's really a game time decision, honestly.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
I really want it though, and then I really want to find the economizer too, right? So while I do put a high priority on that, it still might not get more than 1 or 2 casts in the final fight, depending on the resources I find anyway. So yeah, other than that, I don't have too much of a strategy other than go through. I'm not gonna lie, I should be a lot more familiar with the flags than I am. I usually study them and kind of come up with something rather early, close to the running of the actual seed. So I think I've only run Poltergeist twice so far, and one of them was my last race.
Gotcha. Well, I think that's all I had for you. Possum, do you have anything else for Jav?
No, just great to always watch wonderful runners like yourself play this game. As someone who's learning it, to be able to have Gar in the booth and to have you and GoldenShocker on Restream, just so much to pick up and learn from just the way that y'all handle the seeds. It's incredible to be able to watch, and GG's to Team Phoenix this week. Very well done to you to pull that out and level it up with Team Bahamut. Much to my chagrin and GoldenShocker's chagrin,
Yeah.
Welcome to 2-2 with us.
I appreciate that. I haven't won any of my matches yet, so I really needed this one because I was letting the team down. So yeah, I was happy I was able to pull this one out and help the other guys out who have basically were the reason we had the other win. So yeah, it's fun. I love these events. They're so fun. They bring the community together. I love the way this one's structured to get, and we did that with the last event too, to try and get members of all levels, people who've been here for years, people who just got here, involved. It's so cool. I love that stuff. So I really appreciate just the community itself and our admins and mods who put this stuff together, because it's great. Right, it's great. So yeah, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it, and it's a lot of fun to be able to participate in these things.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you so much for putting on a fantastic show for us. Again, congratulations on your first place victory tonight, and wish you the best of luck in week 5.
Thanks very much. Have a good night, everybody.
Take it easy.
Bye.
So GoldenShocker, after that heartbreaking wipe, picks himself up, dusts himself off, says, "Let's go again."
Yeah, there were a couple of things that kind of went awry in that first attempt for GoldenShocker. The big one was Tier 3. He got an unfortunate combination of things that resulted in Meteo into double calmness, and that basically left him with just throw Cyan. He got to the point where Final Kefka had about 50,000 health removed from it, maybe 51,000, through a Tack Star, and unfortunately got hit with an ultimate counter. So GoldenShocker gets to go again. An interesting point of, interesting thing to note there was Havoc Wing was only hitting that Cyan for 400 damage. Normally you're used to seeing Havoc Wing hitting for what, 3 to 6k depending on the character. So this Cyan is stacked. He is very, very healthy. And basically not going to take damage from much of anything. The problem is we lose yet another party member here in Tier 2 for GoldenShocker. Setzer goes down, so it leaves him with just Cyan, Realm, and Gogo going back into this Tier 3 and already at very low HP here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his elemental protection is. I know that he's got that ice shield, so unless... Okay. I was worried about the Merton. The Whirlwind is survivable.
And Realm's got Cure 3 and he doesn't have Reflect, so that's honestly perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, throwing a Tack Star here. I think this is just going to one-shot Girl, which is what we want. Yep, perfect.
Because she has what... is it 10,000 health, 99.99? I don't actually know her number, but it's right around that number.
It is quad 9s exactly.
Gotcha.
And then, yep, the rest here has 40,000. Once he gets under 30,000, once he gets under 10,000, he starts doing the train Meteo spam, and it's just incredibly rude.
And so, yeah, looks like GoldenShocker going to move in here and go for the kill, which is a little interesting. He could wait for Buddy Boy here to take an action, but looks like no counter comes out, and it's just Calmness. Gets to double Calmness again. That's 2 in a row at, I believe, 33%, so pretty unlucky there. And Gogo goes down, so he does lose a thrower, but at least he's got Realm and Cyan this time. So he's got a Cure 3 bot and a thrower, so should be fine here, even if an Ultima pops as a counter this time.
Yeah, as long as... the reason why he wiped Ultima there is because there was only one person alive, and
Right.
Had there been another person, Cyan may well have survived. Would have done about 2,500 damage to him, and I think he had like 29 at that point. Javinat0r reminding me, unfortunately, that the Normalize and Distort flag is a flag that you can set and have it do just horrible, nasty things to your seeds.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but it sounds awful if y'all are saying it's awful.
You ever have a Meteo hit for 3,500 damage?
No, and I'd rather not.
Yeah, it's one of the worst flags I think in our randomizer, honestly.
It's a really cool idea, but my also Girl has like 30,000 HP. It takes all the stats and normalizes them.
Yeah, it sounds awful. What isn't awful is this Cyan still only taking 400 damage from Havoc Wings. And honestly, the more Havoc Wings he takes compared to everyone else, the better. Celeste taking 5,300 damage from a punch. That's bad. Realm taking 900 is less bad. Ultima popping here, if it were to come out, would be bad. But I think Cyan would live, and we don't get an Ultima. So one more dart does it. Nope, just kidding. That dart does it. And GoldenShocker does come in with Was that official
140,
time of
27.
140? Yeah.
Yeah. So very nicely done on that second attempt. Got a lot more cooperative tiers, a lot more cooperative final Kefka. So
Yeah, good perseverance there to get through. Certainly could have been a bit rage-inducing the way that the statues went, having to leave and come back, and the just the way the seed went in general. There was a lot that went against GoldenShocker, even as friendly as it was. Uh, early on, even the tunnel armor just popping off.
yeah,
Like all sorts
that
of
tunnel
stuff.
armor, just the early roughness that he had in general, having to reset, having to reset out of what is it, Gerald's tomb? That's
Yeah.
like really unfortunate. Just going a little bit slower, and then still to actually keep up with Javinat0r even through all that.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you how terrific of a runner he actually is.
Yeah, against relative, all odds early on, was able to persevere, and that skip point was ahead. So GoldenShocker is joining us now. GG's to you, GoldenShocker. Heck of a job persevering through what looked to be a rough run, but you made it work.
Yeah, that's about all I can say. It was rough, and I wish I could have a few of those things back, but it is what it is.
So we were talking with Jav. Jav's strategy was basically to take a bunch of dragons right at the start, go ahead and get that auto haste online. And by contrast, you took 0 dragons. Is that normally something that you do with Doom Seeds, or is it just because you had the Cure 3 and you wanted to be able to cast it if need be?
Yeah, it was mostly because I had the Cure 3, but also like the check skip was 24, 25, whatever it was. And I was like, well, I don't need to fill checks by getting dragons. So the combination of Cure 3 and that really kind of made the difference. Now, with that being said, I really wish for that goddess fight I had wall or reflect. That was that was really the big mistake, is me screwing up that goddess fight. Like if I get through that fight, I think I was okay. But yeah, that is what it is again.
Yeah, because I think you had stop for Pulte, so like that was free, and then Doom's a little scary sometimes, but normally you can just power through it. So really, yeah, that goddess was the rude one there. So
yeah, it was just countering everything. After the fact, I realized I had that pod bracelet on Setzer. I probably should have just switched it over, but in the moment, I didn't think about it. But I was fully intending to just clear left and right path, regroup, and then just send everybody down the middle and clear it. And timing wise, like I did that just around an hour. I was a goddess. Like
yeah,
it should have been about a 20-minute run, give or take. So I was right there. It was just that goddess fight, and there are a few other ones that kind of bit me there. I almost died to tunnel armor.
Yeah, we noticed that too. He showed up to play. My goodness.
Yeah, you just took everybody out right at the beginning. And then Fun Baba got me too, which just I found a bunch of like just weird places where I ended up taking a lot of damage. I powered through them. I was doing fine, in my opinion. Obviously, there's probably some things I should have done equipping differently, making sure that I healed. I put myself in a weird spot in a couple of places that I didn't need to. But yeah, I would say all in all, it just came down to me not being able to clear Goddess first try.
Yeah, and I think I would agree with you there. Even with the early roughness that you had going on, you were still like really, really close with Javinat0r. So I thought that was like really cool to see, because it is like a legitimate strat too, where Jav was basically scaled up the entire way, and you kept your scaling relatively low. So he had more damage, but he also had to chew through more HP. So like, I really like that aspect of it personally. So
yeah, I don't necessarily have like a preference one way or the other. It was just the way that I thought this seed played out that would be the most efficient was I had those tack stars. I knew where to get more because they were in Narsh too. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna just power through with those. I feel like that was gonna be the quickest way through the seed, honestly. And keeping scaling low and having Cure 3, I figured, that would be like, it was a good strategy in my head. I just didn't play out the way that I was thinking about it. It's the fairest way to say it.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, it was a great look into it. We had, two dynamically different paths through the seed as far as the approach was concerned. So to see them both play out, and to see you actually had to skip while Jav was still going up the tower. So you were first to the statues, and it was really interesting to see that, despite all of the trials and tribulations, that you were technically ahead for a short while. Even with all of that had gone on. So to see those those strategies both play out and both be incredibly effective, and in a seed where Goddess maybe cooperates a little better, you end up ahead on it. So, I think the plan was a good one. And I have no doubts that, with how darn good you are at this and how much I've learned from you at this, that you'll be able to get it next time.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing that was in the back of my mind, and it doesn't matter at this point, but like if we win that race, like we were pretty much locked in. Now we have a bit of a battle ahead of us to stay in. So we'll have a fun couple weeks here to see if we can get into the brackets. But yeah, I think we have a good shot.
Yeah, Team Bahamut, Team Phoenix, we are going to be doing battle to the end of this one now, for sure.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to come right down to the last week, I think.
And that just makes it all the better for our wonderful viewers at home. And me. Well, thank you very much for showing up, GoldenShocker. Do you have any final memes for us before we let you go?
Nope. No, just, as always, definitely appreciate everybody that supports the restream. Saber, Gar, Possum, obviously, commentary. So appreciate everybody that's watching, and hope everyone has a good night.
Thank you so much, and take care.
Yep, you too.